At the easternmost tip of Long Island, nestled in the affluent, picturesque town of Montauk, New York, stands a relic of the Cold War. This is Camp Hero Air Force Station. Officially, it was a coastal defense post, its massive radar tower a silent guardian scanning the skies for Soviet bombers. But when the base was officially decommissioned in 1981, the gates were locked, and the fences were left to rust. Yet, behind these decaying walls, a story began to fester. A story so dark, so profoundly disturbing it would eventually bubble up from the depths of conspiracy and inspire one of Netflix's biggest global phenomena, Stranger Things. While the show is a work of fiction, its creators drew from whispers and allegations that something truly terrifying happened right here. The official records are sealed, sanitized, or simply missing, but a trail of breadcrumbs exists for those willing to look. Fragmented, declassified reports from its infamous predecessor, Project MKUltra, hint at the government's long-standing obsession with mind control. Then came the eyewitnesses, the self-proclaimed survivors, whose testimonies, though often dismissed as fantasy, paint a chillingly consistent picture. These whispers coalesced into a full-blown conspiracy with the publication of The Montauk Project Experiments in Time, a book that claimed to blow the lid off a secret US government program that picked up where MKUltra left off. All these disparate threads point towards something monstrous, hidden deep beneath the earth in subterranean labs. The core of the legend revolves around the most vulnerable of subjects, runaway children, orphans, the so-called Montauk boys. The allegations state these children were abducted and subjected to a battery of horrific psychological and paranormal experiments. They were allegedly exposed to psychoactive drugs, sensory deprivation, and extreme levels of electromagnetic radiation, all in an effort to break down their minds and unlock their psychic potential. The goal was to test the limits of human consciousness, to engineer abilities like telekinesis, remote viewing, and even opening portals to other dimensions. Central to this was a device known as the Montauk Chair, an esoteric piece of technology supposedly capable of amplifying a psychic's thoughts and projecting them into reality.
They strapped me to a chair, a cold metal chair that hummed with a strange energy. They attached wires to my head. I can still feel the cold gel and the sharp prick of the electrodes. They told me to focus on images they flashed on a screen. Flickering symbols, maps of places I'd never been, faces I didn't know. The humming would get louder and louder until my whole body vibrated. Sometimes I'd wake up hours later, back in a bare room with nosebleeds, a splitting headache, and a gaping hole in my memory. It wasn't just time they took. It felt like they were stealing pieces of my soul, leaving me with a terror I couldn't explain.
The Montauk Project was said to be run under the code name Phoenix II, a direct continuation of the Philadelphia experiment and Project MKUltra. The rumors suggest these experiments were part of a larger, terrifying plan born from Cold War paranoia. The objective was to achieve total dominance in the field of psychological warfare, to control the human mind, manipulate thoughts, and create the ultimate weapon, psychic soldiers. These operatives could theoretically infiltrate enemy bases with their minds, extract secrets, sabotage equipment, and even assassinate targets from thousands of miles away. But the ambition didn't stop there. The ultimate goal was to conquer time itself. Using the Montauk Chair and the immense power of the Sage radar, they allegedly tore a hole in the space-time continuum, creating stable time tunnels to the past and future. But as they pushed the boundaries of science and sanity, their experiments spiraled out of control, allegedly unleashing something from the darkest corners of the human psyche, a monster from the id, forcing the project's emergency shutdown. But here's where the story shatters the boundaries of accepted reality. In 1992, a man named Preston Nichols, an electrical engineer, came forward with a story so fantastic, it was either the ravings of a madman or the single greatest leak in government history. In his book, The Montauk Project Experiments in Time, Nichols claimed he had recovered repressed memories of his time as a technician at the base. He wasn't alone. Soon, others like Al Bielek and Duncan Cameron came forward, their testimonies weaving together a narrative that seemed to connect the dots of America's most shadowy conspiracies. They described a device at the heart of the operation, the Montauk Chair. Allegedly based on alien technology, this chair could amplify a psychic's thoughts, allowing them to bend reality itself. The project's initial goal was psychological warfare, projecting thoughts into enemy minds. But according to the whistleblowers, their ambitions grew far more terrifying. They claimed they used the chair to open a stable wormhole, a tunnel through time, connecting their present in the early 1980s directly back to the USS Eldridge in 1943, the very ship from the infamous Philadelphia experiment. But the most chilling part of the testimony was the Montauk Boys program. Nichols alleged that thousands of runaway and orphaned boys were abducted, brought to the base, and subjected to intense psychological conditioning to awaken their psychic abilities. These children, he claimed, were the disposable fuel for the time machine, sent on one-way missions into the past and future, many never to return. Was he delusional, weaving a complex narrative from science fiction tropes? Or was he a brave whistleblower, revealing a truth so monstrous it defies comprehension? The official story from the US government is clear. Camp Hero was an Air Force station, its radar tower a key part of Cold War defense and nothing more. They dismissed the claims as pure fiction, and yet, the questions remain. Today, the Montauk base is a state park, but the underground bunkers remain sealed, the deepest levels still off-limits. Why would the government continue to protect a supposedly defunct site with such vigilance? What secrets, if any, lie buried beneath the Long Island soil? The Montauk Project has become a cornerstone of modern conspiracy culture, a dark legend that has inspired TV shows, films, and countless online debates. Is it science fiction, or a terrifying science fact hidden in plain sight? If even a fraction of these claims are true, it would mean our understanding of history, physics, and reality itself is a carefully constructed lie. The truth is out there. The real question is, are we ready to believe it? Eve.